Welcome back, my students, to a brand new episode of Comic Class. So today's lesson, guys, we're going to be talking about DC's new announcement for the next run of Batman. Basically, the ongoing Batman series, the new first story arc of the new run, which is going to be Chip Zdarsky. And I think his name's Jorge Jimenez, the guy that's been doing Batman since James Tynion the Fourth basically started his run, and it's just been knocking out the park. He's possibly, in my opinion, the best artist in superhero comics, at least for the big two, Marvel and DC. I'm not sure if he's doing any Marvel books, but DC is just knocking out of the park with Batman, and I think he did Superman Rebirth, that run, with I think it's Peter J. Tomasi. Yeah, and I hear that's fantastic. I'm gonna be reading that really soon and binging that, so that I can talk about that on the channel. I'm not sure I'll do reviews, or I'm just gonna be doing a how strong is Superman video. But yeah, overall, he's doing the art, as well. He's gonna be continuing the art, and it should be fantastic. It looks fantastic. The preview for what this first story arc, which is being called Failsafe. And the whole premise of it, there wasn't really a lot to go off of in the preview other than the art looked fantastic. Chip Zdarsky, his Daredevil run, which in Marvel Comics, if you're a Marvel fan, his Daredevil run is fantastic. I haven't read all of it up to current, but I read like the first 2 volumes, I think, or the first volume, and it was just fantastic. Chip Zdarsky, I've read some of his Flash issues when he was doing Flash. I think he's still doing Flash right now, but I checked some of his issues out like 2 years ago, and those were fantastic, even though I wasn't caught up. So he's a very good writer in that he can even make issues that you might not be caught up to good. He's just a very solid writer, the same as Joshua Williamson and James Tynion the Fourth. We have a lot of good writers right now in DC Comics, and Marvel Comics as well. But yeah, overall, it looks awesome. The idea, at least by what we can take from the dialogue, well, we can take 2 things. One from the dialogue being that it states that Batman has a plan even for death. So I'm wondering if this is supposed to be a story where Batman actually dies, and we're gonna need a resurrection, like an actual resurrection part of the story where he's actually like either in the afterlife, like let's say like hell, maybe like apocalypse, maybe certain to apocalypse, I don't know. Maybe we'll get some dark side in the story. But we do get to see, from the art standpoint, we get to see the 3 Jokers, and I haven't really gotten into that because I never read the 3 Jokers. The only thing I can think of when it comes to the 3 Jokers that came close to that was when I was reading the New 52 Batman run, and they were diving into Joker existing like 100 years before the modern timeline. Which would make sense that there'd be multiple Jokers, because his outfit would have changed depending on the times, as the decades went by and by. So overall, that's going to be interesting, and I know that's something that a lot of people were thinking they were never going to get around to diving into that 3 Jokers idea, but that's really cool that they're going to use this to kind of kickstart this new run of Batman comics. And hopefully Chip Zdarsky, I did remember that I heard that they were wanting a permanent Batman writer for at least a few years. So if Chip Zdarsky is the person that they chose and they got to sign a contract or a deal for a few years to write Batman, this is a very good sign for the Batman comic. And hopefully we get something like that if Superman gets his ongoing back again, we get someone good on Superman as well, because Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman being the Trinity should have really good solid comics runs, and being written by really solid comic writers like they were way back in the day when they were rebooted in the post-crisis era in the 1980s. We need something like that with all-star artists and writers basically writing the Trinity, and just DC Comics in general having a massive quality overhaul. And Marvel needs it too, but DC, with the merger that recently happened with Discovery, is doing a lot of cleanup, and we're seeing a lot of good decisions coming in the last few months, or last month or so since the merger. So hopefully maybe this is one of them, and now they're making DC take these decisions seriously and trying to boost sales and stuff like that. And 2 things the fans want to see, because the 3 Jokers thing, even though I've never gotten into it, and I know there is a book talking about the 3 Jokers, I never read it, I do know how important this is to the Batman mythos and what it could mean for the Batman mythos going forward, and that this is a big moment for it to expand on that mythos. So we'll see how they handle it. And overall, Failsafe looks like it's gonna be interesting. The art, as always, is gonna be solid. So there's nothing to worry about there. But we need to wonder how this story's gonna play out. Hopefully, get more information soon. And I do believe the first issue of this should drop in about 2 weeks from now. So it's not that far away. It's either 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now, I believe. I don't think it's a month away. So I definitely will be reviewing it on the channel. I'm reading the Batman ongoing right now. I'm trying to get caught up. I'm trying to kind of like binge it in a way, and I will have reviews up of all the material I haven't covered up to now, and we'll be trying to get it out all this week. So be sure to be looking out for those Batman videos covering what I haven't covered, which is Fear State, the Abyss story arc, and Shadow War. Those videos will be coming out, full story reviews on all three of those. But be sure to comment down below what your thoughts on Batman Failsafe, the story arc is going to be. What do you think is going to be the premise, and how do you think that teaser of Batman has a plan even for death means? Like, are they meaning it literally that he's actually going to die in this beginning of this story, this run that Ships of Darkseid is going to do, which would be a really interesting direction to take it. I do know that we saw something like that in the New 52 when Jim Gordon took over the Batman mantle for a while, as well as when Dick Grayson did during, I think, post-Crisis. I've never read that story, but a lot of people know about it. It's just one of those things you know when you're a Batman fan. So maybe it's gonna be similar to that, or maybe he's not gonna die. It's just like one of those clickbait type things to get you hype. But the Three Jokers is hype enough, and hopefully that does do a lot to expand the mythos, and hopefully we get an awesome battle between the Joker and Batman again. That'd be really interesting to see, and hopefully it's not too soon after the Joker War. So that happened last year? So, but we'll see. We'll see how all this plays out. Be sure to comment down below what your thoughts on all this is, and what your predictions are for this first issue when it drops, and what you want to see in the story arc in general. But to next video, guys, God bless you. Until next lesson, keep on reading those comments.